identify a meaningful pilot demonstration that demonstrates as many of the strategic and tactical concepts as possible. So some kind of demonstration of the two highways concept, like by picking a stretch of rural highway where ADOT could actually put in conduit and have that stretch of highway be near enough to a Tier 1 connection point such that it can be connected to high capacity bandwidth. And then the application task groups like e-learning and e-health and economic development all need to be coming together with a package of things that they would like to demonstrate in several rural communities along that stretch of highway. And so there has already begun to be something of a focus around how to do that. Now there's lots of issues about, what's the scale of that demonstration, which geographic location should it be in? Should it be in more than one geographic location? Because there's been some talk of doing it in northern Arizona and southern Arizona simultaneously. And then there's the big one, which is how does any of this get funded? So that's another thing I need to communicate. We were hoping to get some direct support from the governor's office with the legislature to propose various kinds of funding models for doing this, especially at the pilot level. And basically they've said they feel that their legislative plate is already too full with requests that they're going to be making of the legislature, and they don't want to layer another complexity, in their terms, on top of that this legislative cycle. So we are left trying to figure out what we might be able to do through other means and other mechanisms to get something to happen.
Mike, the money that you guys got for the planning component, the ARA monies, is that a funding source that could be at least some of that used for this purpose, or is it limited?
Very little of it. Most of that is already committed to other programs that we specifically signed up for with NTIA when the grants were issued, and so we have to.
Can I interject?
Sure.
We actually have money set aside in the plan for writing a state strategic plan. And so we do have some logistical support dollars that have been identified for this specific task group. And this task group actually is sitting kind of above, if you will, the mundane of implementation. And I think we want to, out of this task group, incorporate the details of what Mike just said, but we also want to begin the process of the outline of a state strategic plan.
Of a long-term.
Of a long-term plan.
Right.
And we were given specific requests, and for example, and I think you brought it up, Susan, in the council meeting, and that is, what is the definition of underserved? What is the definition of served?
What's the definition of rural? In fact, there's probably 6 or 8 definitions that need to be codified.
And that would be part of a strategic plan, because that gives, shall we say, a guideline for other types of things to follow in the definition process. And what it's going to take, 5 years from now, what will our state look like? And what are the components of that? And so we have the basis of a plan that's been started by, we have an operational plan, so to speak.
Well, we have the PowerPoint presentation, which is really just an outline, and not necessarily agreed to, by the council. And then there are some drafts that have been done earlier by Asset that may be a starting point as well for a strategic plan.